All right. Let's see if my brain's a little bit better now. After some dinner, some dessert. Yeah, because I was looking at this dude earlier and I was staring cross-eyed. What I'm probably going to do... Well, it was that guy I was thinking about trying to figure out a better way to do it, but it was this other one that I need some more streamlined exclusive ores. So I was going to make a thinner one instead of this design here. Maybe go with something a little bit more the other way, but where the inputs still come from the side. So like turn it where my inverter is on the left, but I might not be able to do that the way I want to. Let me look at it. Let me start it over. So if I go this way with it, because I'm just dealing with B at first. Does that mean that I don't need my inverter in the exclusive ore, or is this an additional inverter? Is this actually inverting, doing the inverse of the value is what it's doing? Because otherwise, why would they say it's an exclusive ore? Because the inverter is a part of that deal. So this technically only needs the one input there, and then you put the invert on the A side, which would be the inverter. So it'd be something like this. That'd be that top one. So the first four would be like that, and then the bottom four, I would reverse it. I think I got an ice cream on my finger, on my mustache, or what. I didn't. I just a fucking slob or what? What am I doing? I guess let's hook it up and see what it does. I can always scoot it back and just... That'll touch. Let's do this first. Can I go... I still can't. I can touch that if I do that, right? But is that going to help? And that fan just blows and blows on the computer. That right there's not touching anything. Right? Nope. It touches the inverter line. I didn't look at that. And it has to go up and over. And that touches too. All right. We're just going to have to make this work. We'll worry about the other shenanigans later. Let's make sure that the thing actually works. The inverter rails we could daisy chain for these 4. So like I'm saying, we can, no, that's going to overlap right there, that sucker. See right there, it would touch. Damn it. Isn't that the output? This is the output. Why am I feeding the output? This is my input over here. But because I turned it, I screwed it up. I need to damn it. See how it doesn't touch those? It's just the rails, the gateways, and it feeds that. And then the bottom is the output. So I'm feeding it wrong. This is not this way. And this is not the output. This would be the output. So I can trim that and trim that. I just need to connect these guys, and I need to head that way. So I need to go right there. Means I can shift it up. So start over. To give myself some more room. That would work right. Have to be something like that, or this would work. I think I'll do that so that I can go up and over. Okay, so those will be good, and then the invert will switch to the B side. So it's going to cross over to that guy. I know my thing's in the way. This is going to end up going here. And then the B will end up going here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was the fifth one. Six, 7, 8. All right. This will likely be horribly inefficient. We're going to go straight up. And over. I'm cleaning this up because I want the the negative to be easy to hook up to. It's going to go right below the power. Pressing the right button, it just switched on me. Okay, so this original guy is gonna do that, come over, and then he's going to be going around everything like that. The way I designed it is funky. It is what it is. We'll just have to work. All right, we need that guy to be there. We need you to be there. And then you just need to touch that. And I think I'm going to need to do that. Okay. This guy goes up and over. That is the inverter line there. I think that's how this needs to be hooked up. I'm not really giving myself much room to work with here. I may need to shift these guys down even more. Yeah, that's likely what I'm going to have to do. That is incorrect. Okay. Get this out of the way. The fourth one is opposite. Is it going to be a problem if they touch? It shouldn't be, because this is just feeding gate, feeding that input there. And I do want it to switch, so I want it to switch to this one. We can I can feed it off of this one. Either way, I got stuff in my way. Either way, it's a problem. What I can do, those are inputs, so getting rid of that is not going to matter, because I still need this to come up and over. This is the last invert. On the A side. Now I need to switch to the B side. And so I need this guy to tie into that. Or tie into this. I think. That's the best I can do there. Can I go this way? No, I didn't think I could. Aha. That'd be the better thing to do. Okay, we're tying into B. Which is this guy, it's this guy. So now this actually gets easier. Because we can literally just go boom, 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 boom. It's tied into there, same thing here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that's all tied in. Now the invert, we're tying in this actual B to the A side. Like I said, I think I want to move the whole thing down. So like something like maybe right here. This is the first swap. Where does this guy need to go? Here's the B. And it's this guy right here. Because you can see it's not, right here is the inverter output going to this here and going to this rail. I don't want to touch that. I want the B that's on these rails here and coming over to these. And what's funny is I'm already looking at the invert Okay, I already ran it. That's what I'm seeing. I just moved everything, so it's already there. That's it. That's that line right there. That's what we want. So we can do the same thing, but we can't touch this here. I can maybe, I'm running this too tight. This is 8. This is 8 inputs. I don't think I have enough room to do what I'm trying to do. I'm going to end up fighting it. So I'll just have to move it back. It is what it is. Even then, that probably won't be enough, huh? Because this rail here would be touching those guys. So I have to go again. I have to go up and over to reach this one, up and over again to try and reach that one. There's no way. Too much stuff's in the way. I need to go back one more. Okay, that takes care of that guy. That guy will go there. Feeds that. So how do we do this one? Because we won't be able to touch. Okay. And now with these guys switching, this guy goes to the inverter. So that's inverter. That's the 5th one. It's that guy. That's that guy. And there's that guy. That's probably the best thing to do. I daisy chained that invert guy, swapped him on the 5th one, and now we just need to hook up the outputs. The outputs should be fairly straightforward. This is in between the 4th and the 5th one. I'm going to straddle it, so let's do something like that. 3. This should be fine. Okay, that's all I need there. Anybody else I forgot to not touch right? Eek. Ew, it's green, streamlined. Yuck. It's because it's slow. Your chip is slow. And again, I have 48 transistors on this. It's saying it can do 34. This is the 8-bit plus 1 inverter. 1650, 13230, 831, 48. It's saying that people can do 34. I'm not going to bother checking the ticks there. I can see the difference. They're horrible. Look at that. Some of these are in the hundreds. So does that mean if you take away 2 per, that's 16. So I need, it seems like essentially I don't need each inverter. I think I can remove the inverters and use the invert line as my inverter for all of them. That's what it smells like. Like I think the inverter thing is just as redundant. What's funny is that's what's powering my circuit though too. So this shouldn't mean that I don't need any of these power, right? Don't know what it means. We're just going to save it and move on until I can wrap my brain around it. 8-bit adder subtractor. Here's the inverter one. That's the thing I just did, right? Where it takes an invert in there plus B, and then it outputs the inverse of B. And then it goes into the 8-bit adder. All right. So this is again where it's going to be slow because my invert, whatever you call it, 8-bit plus 1 inverter is slow. I don't know. I am unsure. Forgot how big this thing is. You're probably going to need it over here to make room for the other guy. So let's do the other guy first. Yeah, because it is long. And I don't think that's going to work. That inverter 1 has 1 output, but it was 8. So I don't combine all those outputs, do I? I mean, I guess, because it shows it hooks up to B. These are going to be horrible. I think I can remove those inverters and just the invert line that you daisy chain goes, instead of going to the input of your inverter, it's the output of your inverter on the other ones. I'm going to go back and try that. I think that's what's going on. So I think here, you take this first one, and then that's it. Once you're done using this inverter, the inverter line, this one right here is what you need. So you daisy chain off of that is what I'm thinking. But see, that schematic doesn't, like, it doesn't say that. It just says invert, and then you go there, you boom, boom, boom. It's an invert. It's an input on the successive ones. But it seems like that's what it's telling me, is you just take your invert line, and invert line, you go to that. And the invert line just continues on. Do I need my inverter or not? I don't think so. So it worked when I hooked everything up. I have all the inverters on all 8 of these. They're all there. They were all hooked up. And going from invert to the rail of those, which is the A side of the circuit works. I go to the A side for here, 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 and here, and then the B side of those. When I do that, everything works. It's just slow. And I can supposedly remove 14 transistors from here. 14 just happens to conveniently equal 7 of these exclusive OR circuits. And the only thing I can think of is removing the inverter, because you need all this shit to process the signal, or else it wouldn't be an XOR gate. All the inverter is doing is, when I shoot it through, it outputs to this gate here and to this here. The inverter doesn't do anything else. The A side handles the gates of the inverter, and it also goes over and handles the input and the gate of the positive terminals. The B side handles the gates of this negative and positive here, and handles the negative and positive inputs over here. And then the signal flows. This is the output stage, is in the middle. So I absolutely need these guys, but I don't understand what's going on with the invert. Yeah, without the power and without these guys, well, think about it. Again, the inverter side is handling the input of that and the, okay. So if I get rid of the inverter, then my invert is this rail, this input, this input, this rail. But since when am I, since when do I have a circuit without power, without a positive, without a ground? Because if this invert thing is right, then that's basically what I'm getting rid of. Then that's all they do. All they're doing is powering that inverter. Let me do the first two. I'm going to do the first two. I'm going to bypass this gate and go straight to that guy. None of this matters because it's all going to be turned off. I can touch whatever I want here because this stuff's all turned off. I'm going to see what happens when I control this input, this gate, this input, this gate with this guy. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side here. It's shorting out. See, that's fine. The moment you turn it red, it's allowing that blue through and it shorts out. I don't understand what's going on. It's just connecting everything back up. I missing here? Crap. Use the first inverter and take its output. It's not showing that on the schematic though. But that's the redundancy of this circuit. All these guys are doing the same thing. But I mean, I'm processing these guys too. But that changes with this stuff. But sometimes the invert changes too. You only need 6 outcomes. 2 of them, the invert's blue, which means it's allowing the red power to go through. That's red, it changes that one. That's the opposite there. B7. This is one of those where I'm just validating each one manually, and I can manipulate it how I want. So there'll be parts of this circuit that I just never use. Is that what I'm getting at? Yeah. No, because there's a time here where it's all blue and then down here it's all red. Which means during this time, you're going to be letting power through. So all of those need to be hooked up to let that through, to feed the gates that lets the blue through. So the way that these gates are being activated is through that power. If you do the other way around, it's -1 at the end. The negative is being allowed through to activate the gates. But we're not using the blue gates. We're using the blue signal. The red is what's letting the blue feed through to the end. So what transistors are not being used? There's going to be some other way to finagle this. I'm not wrapping my brain around yet. That's probably to manually do this stuff. But I'm not. How else would I feed it besides when everything's red, like it is? These conditions where everything's red or everything's blue, what other option do you have to send the opposite signal through? Like, I don't get it. Could I just manually do it and just say screw it? If it's red, let it through and not even be processed. So here, when we're blue, we just go on through. And when we're red, all red, we just go on through. And then I just need some way of processing these guys to achieve these outcomes, where when the invert's red, you have one red B to get all that. So I'm just basically going to try and solve for these. And here I am trying to reinvent the wheel again. But I think maybe the schematic is leading me astray. There's some other way to do it that's really not all that hard. At that point, that's all you need. And this is red. It allows that guy to go through, and that solves the second one. That's done. Like, I can literally just hook this up to an NMOS, and that's it. But I know it's not that simple. So wait a minute. The first one is this. That's the first one. It's off. I can't see it. It's getting warm in here. Crap. This shirt's fucking terrible, isn't it? All right, sir. I have a question for you. I'm like sweating. I think I need my fan on or something. I feel it. Sorry, wait. Yeah, slow it down. I want it to go slow. One. There's that one that's inverse. There's 3. There's 3. One, 1, 3, 3. We have 1. Invert is flowing through. The only thing that changes between the first and second step is the invert flowing through the whole circuit to change everybody. So that gives you a -2. It has something to do with the outcomes. That I think I can manipulate. I just have to understand why it's getting the output it is. So we're getting 1, -2, 7, -8, -128, 1, -1. So as long as we're getting those outputs, that's all that matters. So we need to verify where the traces are coming from and how they're getting there, one at a time. Because nothing else is going to give us a 1, right? This is 1 for 1. So that'll give us a 0. This will give us -2. B plus 1 equals -1. B plus 1 equals -1. 2 plus 1, which is 3, but this is binary, right? So, but it's not binary. No, this isn't binary. This is binary. We're using binary to get the result. That's why that's 1, that's 2, that's 4, that's 8, that's 16. So the first trace, this is where I think my matrix Google Sheets thing would come in handy. I can verify each one and then just mimic it to where that's what I get. The only one that I see that I think is going to be a problem is going to be this one, the 127, where literally everything is red except one. That's 128. That's 127. The only way to get that neg 128 is by sending that guy over. It's saying in order to get the -1, I have to have all reds. Is this thing just staring me right in the face? It would actually fucking just smack me if I wasn't being so dumb. Like, it's just gates. If I do the matrix, I think it'll make sense because then I can see the flow and I'll see it and I'll be like, oh yeah, when I want this, I just need to send these guys, and then that's the gate. And we can use each other, to let it through. And then I won't need all these inverters. This is the point. You can get rid of all those inverters, build your matrix of the colors, and then you'll see what needs to be a gate to let the other one through to get the result that you want. That's what it's going to be. The exclusive ORs are just the design to get it the outcome that you want. If you want to do it using less transistors, that's where you have to get creative. And the creativity is going to be through building that matrix. And I'll see it. I'll see it right there, and I'll be like, yeah, there it is. Let's use this guy here to let this guy through. And then in the next instance, it'll maybe be the opposite, and I'll just let it flow through to another gate. Boom, here you go. When you flow, I'll let you in. You know, so you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So we can do that. X1, P3. I don't think that's going to work the way I want it. This will not output unless all outputs are hooked up. There's your -1. Just half-assing building a matrix on paper right now. 3 and 2. I really think it's the inverters that I can get rid of. But when I have a blue invert, then none of those blue, any of the Bs that are blue will not be able to pass through. However, that doesn't mean I can't just feed an inverter and have its output do everything I need it to do. Which is the whole point of what I was saying, was just have one inverter output do everything. I think I can do that. You shouldn't have to feed the inverter line everywhere. Because that doesn't change. It doesn't care about what B is doing. It cares about what this invert line is our A. And the A controls the inverter. So if all I'm doing is, this is just a big exclusive OR circuit. This is an 8 input, 8 output exclusive OR circuit is what it is. And the A, which is the invert, is controlling the B side of these 4, and then it's controlling the A side of these 4. And I daisy chained it. So but that's why it wouldn't work, because it flip-flops. I need 2 inverters. I need one for the bottom side of the exclusive ORs, and I need one for the top side of the exclusive ORs. So basically, you take your first one, and you hook up its output to the next output. You still need the inverter line. You still need this, because this also ties into this side. But you need the inverter output to tell the other inverter outputs the same thing. That's what's going on. 2, 3, 4. I need to turn on this inverter here. To let it do its job and tell the other guys what to do. That can just go straight across. Let's see if I'm right. What's going on here? Why is that last one red? Inverter, inverter, inverter. Jesus. I think I touched something somewhere. Inadvertently. I had it. Now that apparently is the only one. No, the output's supposed to be -1. Apparently it's not. are all blue. I don't get it. What did I screw up that's messing up the 127? Eight's only going through the P3. But I don't need it. So I just need to remove it. If I remove it, then it's blue. It won't give us the right thing. Did we use it some other time? No, I don't have it marked down as being used. It's supposed to be blue. It's supposed to be N3 that it goes through. What did I screw up? This is supposed to be blue. I must be touching something somewhere wrong in the lower. It's right where I'm switching the inverter over to B. I think what I want to do is not use. I still need that inverter line. Let's hook back up and see something here. Yeah, I can't get that lower half to work because it's not picking up the inverter line. See, it's blue right there. I don't have enough room for that, do I? I do have enough room for it. Still this guy. Why are you the thorn in my side? All right, so right now, how? Oh. I wonder if that's why. So it's backfeeding. That's probably it, probably what the problem was. You should be able to leave that hooked up. I only want that inverter active. It was backfeeding, is what it was doing. No, it's still doing it. Okay. Leave that hooked up. That feeds through, so I'm going to still need that rail. This one doesn't. This was an active. I need that guy. That rail is active. That rail is active. And this is an active transmitter. Why does that short out? What am I touching? Nothing's changed. I just got rid of the transistors. Why? This apparently is the negative. No. It's one of the other blues. It's not coming from there. It's coming from here. It's coming from the invert. It's touching here, which it already was. So why is that shorting out? It's the blue rail. It's feeding that through. But all I did was delete the transistors. And I wanted to keep the rail as a jumper. So it was already flowing through that. No, it wasn't. See that? It wasn't flowing through it. So it's touching that inverter line. Can I delete that? And will it count? I'm going to have to undo. We'll do this and see if it counts them not as not working transistor. I think I need this guy. Cost it to touch again? Yeah. They're all touching, Jim. Hopefully this works. That's the ticket. Apparently there's a way to bypass this inverter too. So I bypassed inverter, the 2, 3, and 4 inverters. Can I get rid of this one? We have to see what each thing's doing. That's the first one. That goes through N3 for everyone else. That's that one. That's fine. All right, so here's the change. What's different? The inverter line. This guy feeds that. Jump here. Jumpers here. Jumpers there. It ends. I'm not doing anything with it. And it's red. This one is letting the red through. Because it's blue. This is blue because of that B. So if we jumpered the inverter line to that, it would be incorrect. However, if we jumper that to that, we are correct. So it's red here, but we're not using it. What do you need? You need the red to come down to let you through, which is the inverter line. That's not, that is the inverter line. See, now it's shorting out because we haven't flip-flopped it. How do I get rid of the inverter line? Do I just hook back up that and it just lets whatever through? Maybe. So it still needs to swap back. It still needs to be let through. This is the output of the inverter. So how do we get rid of this second inverter? That's the gate. That's the gate for it. It's literally staring me right in the damn face. Because in this instance, it's not even being used. When it inverts red, the invert is allowing that through. And when they're all red, this guy lets them through. Because the gate lets the blue through, and the blue lets the red back through. That's redundant. Because you can just rob the blue from up here. And have it go there. Because it's the inverter output. Is there any instance? Now see, the last three, the invert is red. So you're not going to have power go through. So you just simply need the negative hooked up to these guys. The last half of the circuit, power doesn't do anything. So you can undo that. You can turn this off. Bring this from over here. And just simply tie in the negative. Why is it unresponsive? Or did I screw up? It's touching right here. What the hell's going on? Man, I'm fucking this up. Like royally fucking this up. Doing the same shit that I've done in the past where I'm like, hey, I see a solution. All this other stuff's good. I see a solution. Let's fix it. And I fix that thing, but it ends up fucking up something else that was perfectly fine. Is that as far back as I can go, or you don't like me going too far back? Okay, this should work. It's N2. I need it to flow through N2 in order to work. In order for N2 to work, I need a red gate. In order to get a red gate, do I need power or can I get it from somewhere else? I think it's only on those two, 4 and 5. There's the red gate. I can get it from there. But that's different. It's the same there. It's different there. It's the same there. But again, I'm shorting out if I try and grab it from there. Why couldn't I just jumper There. Why would that problem? Explain that to me. Processing the same inverter stuff. Why is that a problem? Because look, combined inverter, same output, right? Okay. So it's blue. This inverter here would be blue on this output. So why would that be a problem? And then I swapped my invert over to B. Why a problem? These are my inverter lines. They're not touching anything except the rail and that input. They're doing exactly what they should be doing. So this is the same. The inverter over here is going to output the same. So why is that different now? Did you see that? It was a different color. So why would this inverter be outputting blue? This inverter would be outputting red because rails changed. Because the second half is different. Again, this top portion was using the invert line to feed the rail to the inverter. And then later it switches from invert to B. Effectively, so you need two inverters. How the fuck? So somewhere in this circuit, I have two other transistors that I just don't use. And this is one of them. There's another one somewhere. Where is it? I think 2 through 8, N3, P2, N3, P2, P3. P3, N2, P2. All right, let's break it down. How many times do we use P2? How many times do we use P3? How many times do we use N2? How many times do we use N3? Okay. P3, X1. P3, X1 through 3. P3 is used in 8. Okay. P2 is in X1 through 8. This one, it should be everybody using N2, but this one uses N2 and N3. That's redundant. But the one that's actually No, that's not in use. That's a dead end there. N3, so it's all N3 for this one. So N3 is 1 through 8. And P2, 1 through 8. P3, apparently 4 through 7 doesn't need it. And N2, X1 through 7. N2 is not used in 8. So if I go through the whole entire thing, this one's never used. I already have it disconnected. Undo that. No, we should be fine. This stuff's jumping. Check it again. Okay. 4 through 7 of P3. P3 is being used there right now. So why am I saying 4 through 7 doesn't use P3 when it's using it right now? There's one other transistor in here somewhere. I don't need. I don't know which one it is. I'm suspicious. That it's another negative, but I'm not sure. This one's gone and it's not needed. Is it this one? That's P2. Yeah, it's the P2 on this one. Why is that not going through? This isn't. Oh, is it shorting out? That's how you figure out that shit. And then now you just clean up and then you, I guess, shuffle around or whatever. Get rid of all that shit. Make sure it's still working. Starting to reduce our blocks, which we can reduce our volume a little bit. Make the ticks go up. It's all right. When I clean up a lot of this mess, it's going to be easier because I can probably now try and maybe 2-stack it. Maybe up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then shift these guys up and then do a 1, 2, 3, 4 there. This last guy only needs 2. But before I shuffle this up, I really want to look at the whole picture here. Because obviously this is looking a little messy now, but I have an idea of what I need. Yeah. I think I might be done. That's going to be something I'll clean up some more. But at least I figured it out. And right at 2 hours, that seems to be my go-to time.